Ooh, okay.
You should have branded mugs.
Oh, yeah, right. Yes. Good ideas. Okay? Good idea. Good
You know,
idea.
I'm always full of ideas.
Is that part
right?
of your consultant? How much should I pay you
I
for
give
this?
you for free.
Yo, what's up, guys? Jruzz here, and welcome to another episode of Jruzz Inspires Podcast. And this is exciting, and I feel so honored to have as my guest the Queen of Atlantis, or used to be the Queen of, still the Queen of Atlantis. Actually, still the Queen of a lot of people that work at Atlantis. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful, the gorgeous, the sweetest Kristina Vaneva. Stop laughing!
Oh
Come
my
on,
God,
keep
you're
laughing.
embarrassing me. Okay, let's rename me to the Queen of Employee Engagement. That's what I've been getting that nickname recently a lot.
Really? Okay,
Yes.
okay. So the Queen of Employee Engagement, which is the topic for today.
Beyond
Yeah,
employee
exactly.
engagement.
Yes, but we're going to go that
Yeah.
in a little bit. But for now, let me give you a gift.
Okay.
Yeah, what a gift for you. See? So how much I love you, you know?
Unexpected.
I have a gift for you.
You know, we love gifts, right?
Yes.
Tomorrow is International Women's Day.
Oh, really?
So,
okay, so this is for a gift for your woman's threshold.
Oh, wow. To remind me.
Exactly. So, this picture is one of my favorite picture of Atlantis, and Christina used to work for Atlantis for how many years?
13.
13 years. So I'm
Exactly
pretty
13.
sure, your heart, most of your heart are made from Atlantis. So yeah, so this is for you to just hang it on your wall.
Thank you, Jay.
To remind of me and the people that you work with at Atlantis. So yeah,
You're such a talented,
thank you so much.
not just photographer, but videographer, and now with
Yes.
obviously this new enterprise.
Exactly.
Artistic.
I just started like 3 months ago, and now you're my 33rd guest.
Wow,
Third
wow,
guest
30?
in
I'll
just- in
take
just 3 months.
33.
That's a good number. Good
It's a
number.
good number, yeah.
Yeah. So guys, again, Christina worked in Atlantis for 13 years. But Christina, I'll give you a few minutes. Introduce yourself. All right.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Sure. So my name is Kristina Vaneva. I am officially Bulgarian. However, I only lived there for 5 years. Not too many people know this about me, but I grew up in Libya. I went to school there. I went to boarding school in Greece, and I loved Greece, but I hated the boarding school because
Okay.
it was very constricted.
Okay.
And I grew up in Malta in the sense that I did my A-levels there. I went to university.
Malta.
And then at some point, I'm like, I need to explore more. So I came to the UAE. I have been in Dubai for, it's going to be 17 years.
No way.
Yeah, way. In
Wow.
May. So
Oh.
almost 17 years now.
Okay. So I think we arrived at the same time. 2007.
2008. May 2008.
Okay, so I came first.
Yeah.
I'm older.
And then, well, that's where I'm from, which I think, people say that your nationality doesn't define you, but I think it does to a certain extent, your culture, your upbringing,
Sure.
the way you express yourself, the way you think, right? In terms of what I do for a living, I guess, right? Because we're all here
Sure.
for a
Yeah,
living.
Of course.
I am an employee engagement and employee experience consultant. I'm in charge of creating thriving and happy workplaces for the employees as well as for guests. I also do events. I do quite a number of employee events as well as non-employee events. Also children's fairs, enrichment fairs. I'm an author, as you rightfully introduced
That's why
me.
you're here,
Yes. I'm super proud of that because it was such a strenuous but enjoyable challenge that I managed to conquer. People climb mountains, I write books. I'm married. My husband's Moroccan.
just recently, right?
That's recent as well.
How many years? Just recent. 2
It's
years?
a year and a half.
A year and a half, yeah, some
yeah.
years,
We've been together for 5.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. I was like,
Yeah, but
congratulations.
I waited for him for so long.
Yes, I mean, I'm really happy for you, Christina. Like seeing you from Atlantis,
From a younger, right?
Hey, I'm not that old, all right?
Now we're mature adults.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. See, I just want to mention this, Christina. So I just want to thank you because see, during the pandemic, Christina was one of the people that not constantly, but from time to time, you text me. Like, how are you? How's it going? You ask me about what's the progress, about the what's the situation, and it's something that I think I haven't thanked you enough.
Oh.
Because I mean, it helps Like sometimes if someone's going through something, sometimes you just need a simple text, a
Yeah.
simple, how are you? And that inspired me to, keep going. So yeah, it shows your passion on people.
Connecting.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I love connecting, and I
Yeah.
care deeply for people. It's,
Sure.
I think, something that, is an innate part of me. And working in HR as an HR professional, that's paramount. You got to care about the people.
Exactly. And we didn't even like work directly. Like Christina used to be my client. So Christina works for Atlantis, and I worked with her for so many projects. I can't count how many projects for so many years. But then after Atlantis, you still manage to stay in touch, which I really like. I was like, there's really not so much clients that would interact with you after working, right? So you're one of the good clients that I consider, But before that, I want to we have the discussion like how we met. I think this is something very interesting. So give a background. So Christina and Atlantis was one of the biggest reason of why I am so motivated in my career. All right, you know the story,
I
right? You
didn't
remember
know that.
You remember that?
No, I remember the
Okay.
story, but I
Yes.
don't know that that's the reason why you're so motivated.
Exactly. Okay. So that was who? That was. Do you remember the year? 2000 and I don't know, maybe 13,
I think 12, 13. Yeah.
Yes. So Atlantis had an opening for a graphic designer, right? So I applied for a job, and I got the interview. And I was the happiest person in the world because, as a fresh, young graphic designer, I mean, working for Atlantis, could you imagine, like, working for one of the biggest hotels in the world? Like, for me, that was a dream. And I was excited. And I went to the interview, and I met you. That's the first time we met. There's one more colleague of you that I met. There's one more lady. I forgot her name, but there's one more lady. Yeah, one more lady. And then, so yeah, interview happened. And I got interviewed, I think three times. I went back 3 times, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
A very thorough interview.
3 times, yes. Okay, so, and then she told me, I'm not sure if you or the other lady, one girl told me that I'm one of the basically top candidates. Okay, so basically maybe top 2 or 3. I don't know. So I was like, this is it. I got this job.
I got this.
I got this. I will be working for Atlantis, And then after a couple of weeks, I got the email. Sorry,
You need in the post production of the podcast. You need
exactly.
some
Mic drop or
faces
sad face,
and-
Tong, tong, tong. I'm not sure if I have it. No. No.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's exactly my reaction.
email.
Yeah, exactly. After I received that email that, hey, unfortunately we didn't choose you, we chose someone else. So yeah, better luck next time. So of course I was sad, and keep in mind I was young, I was young. Of course I got excited, but that was one of the biggest letdown of my early career.
Oh, goodness.
But that inspired me a lot. That motivated me a lot because for me I take motivation as I take rejection as motivation. That's what I always tell to my
That's
friends,
so
my
crucial.
followers. Every single time someone rejected me, someone canceled me, you go to my motivation box, right? So for me, that made me like, I was like, I will be working my ass off to be very successful in life,
And to show you.
show you that, you hired the wrong person. Sorry, Romeo. I hope you don't watch it. But I told this story to Romeo, and he was like, oh, really? So we're both the top candidates, and then they chose him. So yeah. So what happened was after 10 years, the next time I went back to Atlantis and I had a meeting with you, I have already my own company. And when I went back to Atlantis, having my own company, to have you as my potential client. And then I think you already forgot the story, and I reminded you. Remember during the first meeting, I reminded you that I was one of the people
I'll be
that
back.
got rejected, and that motivated me. So yes, that's a short story. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's something that would inspire some of the viewers. Again, if you got rejected, treat them as motivation.
That's a very strong message.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, and I had this kind of story so many times, but I don't get sad or mad about this kind of stuff. So for me, I use them to fuel my energy, my passion.
Yeah, many people feel let down. They start feeling rejected or dejected, and they feel, because you get more rejections from job interviews than you get acceptances, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a job search. So one thing out there for people that are really looking for a job, and the right company has not found you yet.
That's true, and everything happens for a reason, right? Okay, Christina, let's go to your Atlantis journey. Okay, yeah, so you said you worked there for 13 years. So wow, that was a tough, stretch of more than a decade,
stretch,
a long stretch.
yeah.
So how did you start working at Atlantis? Like, did you start working as an HR?
Yeah, so I was employed initially from 2008 as an employee marketing manager, and the story is quite funny because I had initially applied for a learning and development position, and the senior vice president at that time, Suresh Menon, he said, actually, that position is maybe not so suitable for you, and we're about to fill it. However, we have something else which may be interesting, according to what I can see from your CV. And he said it's an employee marketing. So I said, okay, I'll come for the interview. I had no idea what employee marketing is. I went online, I searched for it, I asked people, no one knew. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go in and be myself. And the role that I was interviewing was either assistant manager or manager. So of course I'm going in wanting to be manager. And the gentleman that interviewed me was Gerard Moss, Bahamian senior vice president of HR at the time. We had an amazing interview. I think it was probably like, I don't know, like maybe my 10th interview in my life. Again, inexperience with the job search. I was 26.
Yeah, very young.
But I had the skills that were necessary for that position, which is communicating well, writing, because I came from a journalistic background. I had the creativity, the attitude, the really outgoing personality, extroverted, which was necessary for that position, apparently. And I wowed Gerard. And a couple of days later, I get a call. Hey, we want to take you for the position of, and I'm like, which manager? So I'm like, yes. So really, the individuals that took a chance on me, they really saw something in me that I hadn't even seen,
That's
previously.
True. Yeah.
And that propelled me to make sure that they're always proud of me, to make sure that I go above and beyond and really dedicate my life to my job at the time, which is why I spent a long time at the hotel, and really what was really driving me there were the people. And a lot of times you would, you do something for your boss and you do something for the people that you work around with because you love them. And, so many people that come to the UAE, they don't bring their families, or maybe they're young and they don't have a family, a husband or a wife. Their parents can't come. So I came alone. And Atlantis became my family. The people that were there from all sorts of, whether it's a senior vice president or a director or a housekeeping colleague, any level, any nationality, I loved them, and I want to believe that they loved me back.
Wait. I want to attest to that, okay? I didn't work for Atlantis directly, but I was working as your supplier. So I've been there for a lot of time. So I want to attest that people love you. Like, every single one respects you. And so for example, if I'm entering Atlantis, I'll just say Kristina Vaneva. That's it. That's all I need. That's all I need to say. Every single one, I'll just say, if I'm lost, I'll just say Kristina Vaneva.
They'll be like, I saw her. She was around here.
And they're excited. They're excited to talk about you. And even I have friends who still work at Atlantis, and every time I talk to them, or if someone approached me and they said they're working for Atlantis, I always tell them, hey, do you know Christina? And somehow they always get excited to tell the story about you.
We had a great time,
Since
I left, it's been almost 4 years. The turnover of the staff has been, a lot of people have left, come and gone. Let's put it that way, as is with hospitality. And so there's still some people that I worked with and that know me, of course, but the majority don't. So it's a different reality. Now when I go back, I can be unrecognized. It's very difficult.
So if you go now, you're unrecognized? For sure, people still know.
I went a few months ago, and the bell service is there were 3-4 colleagues from Bell Services.
Okay.
As soon as I get out of the car, they're like, Miss Christina,
Oh,
we'll walk you
yeah.
to the restaurant.
Yeah, and every event that we covered back in the day, everyone just goes to you, loves chatting with you, you're such a lovely person to be with, as you said, you're very extroverted, so yeah, I think yeah, people loves you, like,
Yeah.
I've seen it, I've seen it with my own eyes, so yeah, I mean,
It's so difficult. I was gonna say it's the UAE has hospitality, for instance, is a very small industry, in the sense that people move from one hotel to another, and having been there for such a long time and having seen people come and go, they would have gone to a different hotel, whether it's in the UAE or another country. So funny story, I'm in Philippines, 2018, in Cebu, about to get on a boat.
okay.
And then one ex-colleague from Atlantis, from the ticketing area, Miss Christina.
No way, in the
I
Philippines, in the
swear,
province.
I swear.
On the boat.
On the boat. Imagine, what are the chances?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Another time, I'm in the desert in the middle of nowhere in Abu Dhabi, in Al Watba region. At the time, it was in the middle of nowhere. I'm walking with my husband at the time and my mom. And from far away, we're about to leave the hotel. We accidentally went there. It wasn't even a purposeful. Miss Christina from F&B, a colleague.
Wow.
I get recognized, and it's
Yeah,
like it's a little bit like a mini celebrity.
I mean, you are the queen, I mean, you affected a lot of lives of
Yeah.
people that work in Atlantis, for sure.
I would
in a
like to
very
think
good
it's
way.
positively
Oh
affected.
yeah, for sure. Christina, I just want to, before we go to your book, I just want to. I mean, is there any life lesson that you've learned working at Atlantis for 13 years? Is there any? For sure, there are life
many.
lessons that
I need a whole
just
book
one.
for that.
Just one, right now. Is
Be
there-
kind.
Be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you never know what people are going through. You should empathize and put yourself in their position. It's very easy when you're working in a large industry with 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 people plus. You can go by the book, you can follow the rules, or you can see a way and find a way. I'm not saying do it illegally or break the rules. I'm saying find a way to be humane.
True.
And I think that goes for all departments. It doesn't just need to be an HR department. You can be in IT, you can be in engineering. Just be kind.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't have to be with your own colleagues. Like again, Christina did that to me. I'm just Christina's supplier, but during the pandemic, she still managed to stay in touch. Text me, ask me what's going on. So it shows your personality, your kindness. So thank you, Christina. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much. Okay. As Christina said, she's an author right now. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm very excited
Very
because I saw this when you posted on your Facebook page,
It's
and I
a
was like,
proper book.
wow! And look at that. Just
Proper.
bring it up a little bit, Christina.
It's like how many pages?
Oh my God!
Wait, for those who love reading, they'll love it.
Okay.
For those who don't, they'll be like, this book never
Like me,
ends.
I'd rather watch video, but
Without I'll do some videos as well. Without the references, it's 301 pages. It's
Wow.
like,
Can you
and it's
mention?
got-
Can you mention the one you mentioned earlier about the words?
yes.
Yeah.
So when I first started on this 2016, I said, I gotta write a book. I've always loved writing. When I was a young child, my grandmother used to help me with my essays because she was an excellent writer. So she would write my essays for school in Bulgarian, and then I would translate them in English. So my writing experience and her creativity started from a very young age. And so I've always wanted to write a book, but nothing really serious and concrete. But in 2016, I went to it was a 3-day congress by Success Factors, and there was so many famous and successful people there, including Robert Kiyosaki, who was the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And they were selling some very interesting after courses, and I attended one of them, and one of the main topics that was discussed during the day was how do you become an author and the importance of being an author. And so that was 2016. And I never really took it seriously until 2018, 2019, where I said, now I have to find my topic. I have to find, my structure, maybe a publishing house. Let me get into this journey. What is the writer-author journey? So I found Passionpreneur Publishing. That's my publishing company. And I met Mustafa, who's the owner. And they have an amazing slogan. I love their slogan. It's from author to authority.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I wanted to be an authority figure. And what best to be an authority figure? Something that I've, lived passionately with the feeling of passion, which is employee engagement, the employee experience, the entire journey. And also, how do you translate that to customers? Why do we want happy customer? Why do we want happy employees? Because we want happy customers. This is a cliche now. So my book, which is called Beyond Employee Engagement, it actually talks about not just, yes, we want an outstanding employee experience so that we can have loyal customers, but it's beyond that. We want that employee to be happy and to be thriving and motivated and growing in their role, because the experience that they have at work is most probably going to affect the experience they give to their family. Whether it's their mom or their spouse or the children. Now, imagine that magnified. For instance, if a country doesn't have... Okay, let's start smaller. So if a company has a toxic workplace culture, and let's say 80% of the people are unhappy and their engagement scores are very low, the turnover of the employees is very high, chances are when they go home, they're going to spread that toxicity, negativity, unhappiness. Their family is going to be worried about them. Eventually this grows and becomes a little bit more like they talk about quiet quitting. They talk about, disengagement. It's going to spread to the neighbors and then to the communities and then to society in general. I'm talking about really big picture, right? So if you've got not just companies, but if you've got countries that have employee laws that are not very people-centric, your chances are you're gonna feel that as a customer, as an employee, as a parent. So my book talks about the fact that everyone who's in a position of power, whether you're a team leader, whether you're a supervisor, an assistant manager, whether you're a GM, we all have that influence and we all have that responsibility to take care, first of all, of our own employee experience, but also at the same level of importance for the experience of those around you.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you are affecting not just the person next to you or your team member, but their family and the families around, if everyone in the company is a toxic leader, for example, or if the culture is not conducive to employee engagement.
So who are the target people for this book? Like, is it the higher
I love
ups,
this question.
the leaders?
No, not only. Exactly what I said. So if you have any position of power, whether you're a team leader or you're, as you said, a higher up, so a CEO, this book is for you. It's also for university students, people that are either graduating from HR or any department like the humanities department, management, leadership. It's for education as well, and of course the HR team.
True. And I want to say something about working in a happy environment, because I used to remember Biz Group.
Yeah,
that was my last company, and
love that
you attended a lot of
love them.
a lot of workshops, seminars, and I want to attest that whatever they're teaching in their seminars or workshops is the same
It's
as
all
what they
about
do
that.
in our office. Like, Biz Group is one of the happiest place that I've been with. Like, I'm telling you, and one of the reasons until now I'm still working with them. Like, they have this what you call that, values of one of the values they have is supporting people's personal growth.
I love
supporting
that.
supporting their employees. It's not just while you're working at the company, but even after you leave the company. I left the company for like 9 years. Until now, still working for them. And there had been at least 5 marketing managers since I left. And now every marketing managers works with
Jruzz
me.
is the man.
So it's like, I was till now I still can't believe how much trust, how much support they're giving me. So yeah, for me it's like it's family. It's again, it's one of the advantages of working with a company that have these kind of values, that happy place to work with. So yeah, I mean, I always tell myself, if I will be working back again as an employee, I would probably work with Biz Group again.
Yeah.
So because I want that culture, I want that vibe, or if not Biz Group, maybe Atlantis with you. Like if you go back as
you come with
HR
me
manager,
now.
yeah, I'll be working with you.
You come in my new company.
Okay, Christina, can we go to your book and
Yeah,
then
definitely.
maybe I know just pick a few topics,
Yeah, I would
what my
love
favorite,
that.
So just give you, because I mean it's a long long book, so yeah,
It's a big fat book.
big book. And
So yeah, I was gonna tell you actually about the big fat book. So, my publishing contract was 30 to 35,000 words.
Okay.
And those who know me know that I love writing, and I'm a woman of many words.
Yes.
And I said, I'm just gonna start writing. I'm not gonna restrict myself and my thought and my chain. And whenever I finish writing, I finish. I had deadlines, of course, but whatever needs to be cut down to 30 to 35,000 words, I'll cut it down. I finished at 60,000 words. So I called my publisher and he's like, Christina, you have a few choices. One is you can publish it in 2 books. So, volume 1 and volume 2. Like encyclopedias,
Exactly.
right?
Like Game of Thrones, you end up with a lot of volumes.
Yeah, lots of volumes. Part 1. Or you can cut it down, which I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Or you can pay. And I also didn't want to do that. It's like double the book, double the price. And then he's like, there is a 4th option, which I took.
Yeah.
And that was cut it down and put it on a website. Which is why my website, which is called beyondemployeeengagement.com, is packed with amazing resources that did not make it to the book because I simply had to cut a lot of words out. But they're free and they're available, so
Yeah.
anyone who is interested can download them
Yes.
and make use of them. That's really what this book is about. It's not to become an authority figure only, but really to help employee workplaces, to help workplaces create those extraordinary cultures that drive loyal customers. So the book is it's got, if you think about the entirety of the employee journey, which is from start to finish, it's actually, there's never a start to finish. It's never so clear cut. But if we have to have a start to finish, it would be the first time you hear about a company. So for example, those that are watching the podcast and they hear about Biz Group or they hear about Atlantis and this is the first time they heard about the company, that would be the beginning of their journey. They might never join the company, or when they do join it, they would have been so hyped up because of what we gave them as a start that they're already have committed to being a loyal team member.
You're already aware of the
So that's called employer branding, right? And companies nowadays, especially in the last, I would say, decade, they've become really cognizant of the fact that their reputation externally really affects the type of people that want to apply and the type of talent that they attract. In the UAE, of course, when people apply for a job, there's hundreds of applicants, sometimes thousands. So we don't necessarily always have an issue with the number of applicants, but there could be a concern with the quality of the applicants, meaning, are they the right fit? Do they have the right qualifications? Do they have the right experience? Do they have the right attitude?
Yeah.
And so with these thousands of people, many of the times they just apply because they see a vacancy. But there are those who, look at the job, look at the company that they know is an awesome company, and they're like, I want to apply for this role because it's working in that company.
Yeah,
and even if the salary is lower or the position, whatever it is, I want to be there because of the brand name.
Exactly.
And then, of
Exactly.
course,
Yeah.
let's say the interview
Yeah.
process, the entire onboarding, if you get selected or rejected.
Like Yours and truly.
But I believe you have a good brand experience from
Exactly.
from the story you
Yeah,
told.
even Romeo told me that that's maybe a blessing in disguise. But you never know if you work
You
in
never
Atlantis. You
know.
never maybe you don't have a company right now.
Yeah.
And I want to go to that branding. How important having your brand is. Like for example, for myself, which I managed to build my brand. But I remember when we met, I still don't have a social media at all. I don't
No,
have.
it wasn't a thing at
Yeah,
that
exactly.
time.
It wasn't that big. So I managed to build my social media. Then I built my brand. All right, and then what I noticed since I built my brand, for example, if a client send me a message or they inquired about me, they rarely ask for my portfolio. They never ask for my website because once they saw my profile or they even like I don't saw my reels or maybe a friend told me I told them about me, it's having a strong brand. The trust instantly is
Yeah.
there. Right, so building your own brand. Right now, my website is not even updated at all. I mean, if you open my website, my first shot is the Atlantis video that we did. I forgot about it. The one where all the managers are working towards it. That's the first video you'll see on my website. That's how old my website is. Yes.
Up in the bridge suite, right?
Yeah, exactly. That one. So
Trying to remember what the video was. I remember filming it.
something about smile or whatever or yeah. Yes.
Have an amazing day. Was it have an amazing
something
day?
something like that. So that's still the video on my website. So that's how old my website is. So I almost never updated my website.
It's a great video though, so no
It's a
need
great
to
video.
update it.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm really grateful that I managed to build my brand. And until now, it's very easy for me to get clients. to
It's
be honest.
crucial.
It's very crucial.
And it's not just, by the way, it's not just for people that are entrepreneurs. It's
True.
if you are an employee and you never want to be an entrepreneur. What kind of reputation do you have in the market? Do you want to grow? Your external reputation affects the way that your team members also think of you. Your manager thinks of you. You all of a sudden become an important asset to this company. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. Like, oh my God, he's got 33,000 followers and people engage with him. So let's see how we can make him an employer brand ambassador. And how this person, let's say Jay, how what he shares is trusted by his audience. Because statistics say that if a company posts on their profile, it's trusted because it's coming from a company profile. But if an employee posts from his or her profile about the same, it could be the same post about the company, there's a 70% more trust. That's a huge number.
Yeah.
So we need as HR people, as leaders, as managers, we need to build those brand ambassadors and enable them. It's called employee advocacy. So if you enable and if you create an employee advocacy program where you motivate and you reward and you recognize people that are that want to promote the company through their own brand, there's a win-win situation for you and for the organization.
Yeah.
So obviously the journey continues into once you're hired. What is that experience? Did they collect the documents properly? Did they onboard you properly? Did you feel welcomed? Did you feel significant? Did you feel like you belonged? So the first 6 months of an employee are crucial because that's when he or she really continues to shape their perception and really builds a strong perception. Says, is this a place for me or not? Am I going to stay or go? Or if I'm going to stay, am I going to be fully committed, 200%? Or is it just going to be a regular job for me? So again, that experience is crucial. And then we go into the long part of the journey, which is your growth, your development, how you learn, what you earn. So that entire, it could be a year, it could be 10 years. And at the end, again, is the exit. The exit is extremely crucial because you want to exit like you did, right? From Biz Group. You want to exit on a positive note.
Actually, didn't exit in the positive note, but anyway,
no!
I'll tell you the story.
I want to hear that story.
Okay, finish your
Because
statement
you
first.
still continue to be an
Yeah, but
advocate.
I'll give you the story. Okay, just finish your statement and I'll give you my story.
Okay,
It's
I now want to
interesting
hear
one.
it, so be quick. So you want people to continue to be employee advocates.
Aye.
right? Once they've left the company. So the way they leave should be with dignity and respect. And ideally, they should want to come back and work at some point. If they don't, then that's fine. But they should have left in such a way that they would want to come back.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
of course, they remain alumni of the company, which means they're forever brand ambassadors,
Yeah.
good or bad.
Okay. Now we're ending the podcast. So see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Why? We're done.
No, I think they want to listen to your
We're done.
story.
What's that?
No, I want them to hear your story.
I think I'm going to get. Well, wait. I hope they don't watch this episode. But okay, let's go to that. Okay.
Look, if they've gotten so far, then they deserve to hear this. Right?
Yeah. I mean, they know. Okay, so let's go to that. Okay. It's something that for sure you maybe I don't know, maybe I just treated it in a negative way. Maybe I overacted. I don't know. Just tell me, because your perspective as a manager.
Okay.
For me, perspective as an employee. Okay. So as I told you, I was very happy working with this group. One of the best job experience of my life. But for me, I learned the importance of having a great manager. Having a good manager is very critical. Like, it doesn't matter how happy the workplace is, the company, how big the company is. It doesn't matter. One bad manager, that's it.
Completely
You're
ruins
done.
your life.
Exactly. So that's exactly what happened. So the manager that I started working with, he left the company, and it was a struggle to find another one, a good one. So yes, so basically there's I think 3 managers since my first manager left, and then it came to the point that I got frustrated. So yeah, it's like, even though they love working with me, like they love me as an employee, like they cannot, like they really want to keep me. I know that I felt that, but again, I cannot do anything because I don't have any control. I need a manager, I need a strong manager to work with, and it's something that they failed again and again, which is, I know it's not easy to find a good employee, especially a manager, right? But
This is what the book is all about.
Yes.
Whether you're an HR team member or a leader of an events department, you're going to touch people's lives.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? How do you make them
Exactly.
trusted and loyal team members?
That's true. So yeah, for me, I think it was like at least 1.5 years of frustration, having three new managers in maybe 2-3 months span of time. It's hard. So that was the time that I think I just have to let go.
Enough.
And I have to enough. And then I think I just have to go by my own. Just put up my own company. Because again,
Congratulations.
Again, blessings in disguise. When I told them that I'm going to leave, they were very sad. Like, I felt it. They were very sad. And I left in not in a good way, I believe.
I mean, they still want to work with you.
Yeah, they still want to work with me. That's the thing.
And you want to work with them.
Yeah, I think I just didn't manage to control my emotions, because that's how sad I was. And I remember after I left, for at least the next 1-2 years, the group picture that I took for this group was my wallpaper for my phone and my iPad for the next 2 years, because that's how
sentimental.
That's how sentimental this group is to me. So until now, still missed having my colleagues and stuff. So, but luckily I still work with them from time to time. So yeah, that was the story. So
That's amazing.
I'm not sure if I overreacted, but
No,
again,
it was your reality.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Whatever happened brought you to the place you are now.
And as an employee, again, having a good leader is critical.
It's absolutely the top most important. I was emceeing a conference last week, and one of the panels was talking about reward and recognition. And there was some really great stories shared about what companies do and best practices. And there was one lady on the panel. It was towards the end, and she came out and said, guys, you could have the best program, the most amazing rewards, but if you have one crappy manager, then that program just goes down the drain. And then the whole room got up and was applauding, because it's so true.
Yeah. And I mean, if I saw, okay, managing people, I know it's hard. Even for me, even though I don't have a big group, but I know how hard to manage people because I managed to have an employee before pandemic. Like I had at least two employees, and it's not easy. It's something that you it's either you have or you don't. Right? It's something you could train. But still, management. I think it's a critical.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm not saying. I don't know. I think I would disagree whether.
Yeah.
Yes, you might have it internally, intrinsically. You're a born leader. But if you educate yourself, if you have good mentors, if you have good coaches, if you read and really work on yourself, you could also become an amazing leader, an amazing manager.
Yeah.
So it will just take a little bit longer, and you're gonna have to work a little bit harder.
Yeah, maybe it's something that I didn't have a chance to learn or to have enough people around me, and it's one of my frustration in my corporate career because I really want to have my own team. Like it was one of my aspirations. Like one day I want to have like my own crew. Like 10 people under me working under me. That was my dream.
Plan.
But yeah, I mean I didn't manage to achieve that during my corporate. Yeah, I was talking during my corporate years. But right now having my own business, I think it's something that something that I can hopefully achieve in the near future.
Make a plan. Put a date. Set goals, work towards it.
Sure.
It always happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But right now I'm enjoying. Like I'm enjoying my one man band.
Solopreneurship.
Exactly. I mean the thing is, you know what this is what's interesting. Pandemic changed the industry.
Yeah.
Right? Before it's not common or it's not accepted to have an office in your house.
Exactly.
Right? It's like I will never work with the production company that has their office in their house. No way. But now it's very common.
Yeah.
So it helped us.
That was a big blessing in disguise.
True.
Yeah. There was a lot of good things that came out of the pandemic, I must say.
Oh yeah, true. For me, working with Atlantis, I lost it during the pandemic, and of course my employees. A lot of my clients I lost during the pandemic, but then it brought me a different kind of business, social media, like content creation. Like this is new. Like I don't think content creation or being an influencer or social media career would expand in this magnitude without the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So right now I don't even have to have my own office. I don't even have to have my own staff. I can just be my own. I can just create. I just need to go to a place, promote them and earn money from it. So yeah.
But you know what's fun? Working with a team.
Yeah.
I think for me, that's the biggest thing that I miss from my corporate life, wherever I've worked. It's really the team members that you want to see every day. You want to have lunch with them. Yeah. You want to share your successes or your failures, even if it's over the weekend.
Yeah, true.
So this is what as a consultant, I go into workplaces and I could have a 1-week relationship or a 3-year relationship. I still am not 100% part, even though I have a personality that, I really integrate well.
Yeah.
I'm doing the back of house or the heart of house renovation for a hotel right now. So I'm doing all the frames and in the corridors, the mirrors, the painting. So the complete branding and also the renovating of their colleague restaurant, so the cafeteria.
Oh, wow. So,
and it's been a few months that we're talking, we're designing, we're planning. And all the security know me, by the way. Big tip. Always have friends in security or always make friends with security.
Exactly.
And then... today the project started, so today is a very big important day for me. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I said, hey, instead of queuing up every time and giving my employee ID or my Emirates ID and getting a contractor ID, could I get a 1 month, for you anything? So they're like, you're a big Arbab now, big boss. For those that don't know Arabic, you're a big boss. You come in and out. Yeah, we trust you. I'm like, okay, I've built it. Tell us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, wow, amazing. You managed to build this kind of, I think.
Proxim, it's very important that people feel like they can trust you, that. Or whatever nationality or whatever level you're, especially when you're talking about in the UAE, they feel like they can relate to you and you can relate to them.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a big important.
Okay, Christina, before we end the episode, I want you to, give if there's any word of wisdom you want to give to the viewers, to your fans. If there's anything you want to tell them, this is your chance. Look at the camera, say hi, I'm still here.
Put me to the
Hey
spot.
fans, come on.
I'm not like you, right? I don't do these TikTok or social media videos.
Oh, that was the sound that we were looking for.
Okay, let's do the happy sound now. Hey, fans!
Woo! Yeah, see, exactly. Okay, Christina, go for it.
Wow. Well, what do I say? I want to thank everyone for your support and your trust and your love through all these years. And I hope that I have managed to make you proud from the person that I've grown to be. And I hope that we can continue to work together in some sort of capacity. And I wish you all the best.
Wow. Woo! Yes. Christina, one last thing. Just to say something about the book, where to buy them, where to get them,
Yeah.
I'm going to cut this as a snippet, like a single video. So make sure it's the best promotional video you
All
will
right.
ever say about this book, okay?
So Beyond Employee Engagement is a book. Let's cut. Since I
Take
got a
two.
chance.
Take two.
Beyond Employee Engagement. Cut. Take
Yeah.
3.
Show the book. Yeah, exactly.
Beyond Employee Engagement is a book about building legendary workplace experiences, and it's available on Amazon and all online bookstores, as well as in Kinokuniya, Dubai Mall, the biggest store in the UAE for books.
Shameless plug. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, the Queen, Kristina Vaneva. Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you, Jay.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for
again.
the opportunity.
Exactly. See you soon.
See you soon.